The loudest voice you'll ever hear is not from the world, it's from within. That voice that whispers, "You're not good enough, you'll never make it," or "You always fail." That voice is not truth, it's fear dressed as logic. The inner critic feeds on your doubt, grows on your hesitation, and thrives when you stay silent against it. But here's the truth, that voice is not your enemy. It's a test. It's there to challenge your belief in yourself, to see how badly you want to rise. The moment you talk back with confidence, it begins to lose its grip. Silence the critic, not by ignoring it, but by overpowering it with truth. Every mind has two voices, one that builds and one that breaks. The voice that builds whispers possibilities, while the one that breaks repeats past failures. The one you feed becomes the strongest. Most people live their entire lives listening to the wrong one, mistaking fear for wisdom. But success begins when you recognize the difference. Your inner dialogue shapes your outer reality. You can either speak power into your life or poison it with doubt. Every thought you entertain becomes a seed. Choose carefully what you allow to grow in your mind. The inner critic is sneaky. It uses your own memories against you. It reminds you of mistakes, amplifies your weaknesses, and makes your past feel permanent. But the past is not who you are. It's what taught you who to become. You are not your mistakes, you are your lessons. Every failure is just data, not destiny. You silence the critic by replacing regret with gratitude. Gratitude for the strength, the wisdom, and the scars that shaped you. When you shift focus from what went wrong to what you learned, the critic loses its language. Your self-talk becomes your self-image. Every "I can't" becomes a wall. Every "I can" becomes a door. When you repeat words of power, your subconscious listens and adjusts your reality accordingly. The brain doesn't know the difference between truth and belief. It acts on repetition. That's why affirmations matter. Tell yourself you're capable, and your mind finds ways to prove it. Tell yourself you're worthless, and your actions will reflect it. The way you speak to yourself in silence defines the limits of your success. Make your words your allies, not your enemies. When you fail, the critic gets loud. It says, "See, you're not meant for this." But failure is not evidence of inability. It's evidence of effort. You failed because you tried, and trying is always step one to mastery. The critic thrives on perfectionism. It wants you to quit before you begin. But greatness comes from imperfection embraced, not perfection achieved. Speak to yourself like you would to someone you love. Be kind, be patient, be proud. You're not falling behind, you're just getting refined. Silence that voice by standing firm in progress, not perfection. The way you speak to yourself in private determines how you perform in public. You can fake confidence for others, but your inner dialogue always reveals your truth. If you constantly tear yourself down, no external praise will fill the void. Validation from others fades fast. Validation from within lasts forever. Success is not found in applause, but in alignment with your values, your effort, and your purpose. Talk to yourself like a leader, not a critic. Command your thoughts with clarity. The world listens to the energy you radiate, and that energy begins within. Every time you doubt yourself, remember your mind is listening. The critic repeats the same lines until you challenge it. Don't let one negative thought become a lifelong belief. Question every word it says. Ask yourself, is this fact or fear? You'll realize most of it is fiction, stories your mind wrote to protect you. But protection is not growth. The walls you built to stay safe are the same walls that block your freedom. Speak with courage even when you don't feel brave. Courage is the language that silences doubt. Your inner voice was shaped by years of conditioning, teachers, parents, society, failure. It learned to warn you, but not always to empower you. That's why you must reprogram it consciously. Every day, speak life into your thoughts. Replace "I'm not ready" with "I'm learning." Replace "I can't do this" with "I'm getting stronger." You don't need to be perfect to begin. You just need to begin to believe. The more you correct your self-talk, the more your inner critic transforms into your inner coach. Growth begins when language evolves. Most people underestimate the power of silence. Silence is not weakness, it's mastery. When your inner critic starts shouting, still your mind and breathe. The critic feeds on reaction, but silence starves it. Stillness gives you perspective. It separates truth from emotion. The moment you detach from negativity, you regain control. You don't need to argue with the critic, you just need to observe it until it fades. The mind can't win against calm awareness. The most powerful rebuttal to negativity is inner peace. The critic often appears strongest right before a breakthrough. It senses change and tries to pull you back into the familiar. Fear doesn't want you to fail, it wants you to stay safe. But safety and success never coexist. Growth is uncomfortable, and the critic mistakes discomfort for danger. That's when you must push through. Your comfort zone is built by your critic. Your destiny is built by your courage. You can't silence the voice entirely, but you can train it to whisper encouragement instead of fear. You are not your thoughts. You are their master. You have survived every single challenge life has thrown at you so far. Yet the critic still tells you that you can't handle the next one. Isn't that ironic? The evidence of your strength is everywhere, yet doubt still dares to speak. That's because the critic lives in memory, not in reality. It remembers pain but forgets victory. So remind yourself of what you've conquered. Every victory, no matter how small, is proof of resilience. The critic loses credibility when faced with facts. When you look in the mirror, what do you say? Do you see flaws or potential? Every reflection is a chance to choose perception. If you speak negativity into your reflection, it becomes prophecy. But when you say, I am enough, you're not describing reality, you're creating it. Confidence is not pretending to be perfect. It's accepting imperfection with pride. You deserve to be your own biggest supporter. Talk to yourself as the person you want to become, not the one you used to be. The mirror reflects what your mind believes. The inner critic will always try to compare. It loves reminding you who's ahead, who's better, who's more successful. But comparison is poison. It kills gratitude and breeds insecurity. The critic thrives on competition because it distracts you from self-growth. You are not behind. You are on your own timeline. Every flower blooms at its own season. When you stop comparing, your energy returns to creation. The critic hates that because comparison is its favorite weapon. Starve it by staying focused on your own journey. Words are spells, and your self-talk is your magic. The mind doesn't respond to hope, it responds to command. Speak to yourself with conviction, not hesitation. Don't say, I'll try. Say, I will. Don't say, I wish. Say, I am. The critic thrives on uncertainty, but certainty kills it. Every word you choose is a building block for your reality. The more intentional your language, the stronger your mindset becomes. Your words become your world. Speak wisely. When your critic says, you're not ready, it's usually because you are. The closer you get to transformation, the louder it gets. That's your cue to move forward. Growth triggers resistance. It's natural. The critic senses change and panics, but panic is a sign of progress. If your dreams don't scare you, they're too small. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a green light disguised as anxiety. Take the step anyway. Confidence grows in motion, not in waiting. You can't silence the critic by fighting it. You silence it by outgrowing it. When you evolve, its words lose meaning. The insults no longer fit the person you're becoming. The voice that once stopped you becomes background noise. That's why personal growth is the ultimate victory over negativity. You don't win by arguing. You win by ascending. Focus on becoming so strong that doubt feels irrelevant. Maturity is when your peace becomes louder than your fear. Sometimes the critic wears the voice of someone else, a parent, a teacher, a bully. But their opinions don't define you. They spoke from their limitations, not your potential. Don't let old echoes control your present choices. You are not bound to their version of you. Every time you speak kindly to yourself, you heal the wounds they caused. Self-compassion is rebellion against the critic. Forgive them, forgive yourself, and move forward free. Affirmations are not magic, they're training. They teach your brain a new language. Repetition rewires neural pathways, turning doubt into belief. Say it daily, even when it feels fake. Eventually, your mind accepts it as truth. The critic will laugh at first, but it always goes quiet in the face of consistency. Your brain learns from patterns. Give it empowering ones. The more you affirm your strength, the louder your confidence grows. The more you affirm your strength, the louder your confidence grows.